Third phase of moon.
Third phase of moon. Blake Cousins taking your calls from around the world. Let's get to it. Let's go to area code 619. It looks like San Diego. You there?
Hi. This is Christy. Can you hear me all right?
Yeah. What was your name again?
This is Christy. My name is Christy. I have a story that happened to me and my husband, and it's a little unbelievable. I can't believe I'm going to actually tell the story. It feels like maybe a dream or something. Well,
wow.
It was
hey, thanks for calling in. Thanks for calling in. Go ahead.
It was in 2012, the beginning month there. It was on a Sunday. My husband and I, we were sitting outside, and okay, I'm in Escondido, California, and Camp Pendleton is over there in Oceanside. Well, a UFO flew low, just right there in the middle of the day, over my house, right, and like my house is 1551 square feet, and it was about as big as my house. And it was kind of no sound and huge and just steady, and there was a little fighter jet behind it, military jet or plane that was following it. And it was just going real steady. And I wanted to go in and get, something to take a picture with it, but I just froze. And, oh, my goodness. Okay, but that's not the main part of the story here. Okay, it came over the house, and then we watched it just keep going at an angle, but it came from the direction of Camp Pendleton. So, first we had to absorb what just happened to us. So it was really wild to know that we just saw unidentified flying round its circle. It was massive. And it was flying, just flying like that in the middle of the day with a little jet following it. And then after I sat down and we kind of composed ourselves a minute, I called my dad. I go, Daddy, you're not going to believe what we just saw. And I told him the story, and he goes, well, who are you going to tell? I said, I know, I sound crazy, but it really happened. And he goes, and he was right. Who are you going to tell? You know what I mean? Not like you can call the police, there's nobody to tell. I guess, well, now that I found you guys. Okay, well, here is where...
Absolutely.
Well,
yeah, and you don't want to go tell MUFON either. Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, yeah. Well, here is the crazy part, okay? Now, it's Sunday. Now, Monday come along, and my husband, he works on Camp Pendleton there. So he drove into work as usual. We talked about it before he left. I said, man, I'm still kind of in shock about what we saw. He goes, yeah, me too. He goes, all right. Well, he headed off to work. Now, I talked to him at lunchtime, and he didn't remember. And then when he came home, he didn't remember. He didn't remember seeing it. And I don't understand. And he doesn't lie. We're very honest, good people. And I go, Larry, I don't understand how you don't remember. I go, what did you do last night? What happened last night? He says, well, I had a couple of beers, then I went to bed. I said, first, have you ever talked about what you did last night without food being at the top of your list? He goes, you're right. And I told him what happened. But I didn't tell him what happened yet. First I called my dad, and I said, Daddy, Larry don't remember. He goes, how can you not remember that? I said, I don't know. He went to work, and he can't. His daddy goes, I heard about that on the radio. It's that heart place where they're messing with people's brain, or they're making people lose their memories or something. And I said, well, he got zapped by something because he has no clue and no memory of what happened last night, and I didn't get anything on video. I have no way to prove it. So needless to say, after all that, I went out and got myself a nice little video camera that I keep with me. I won't step out of the house without it. I keep it with me all the time. I'm never not going to
awesome.
Yeah. So that's my story. I just thought I would share it with you guys.
Well, what's so weird is that this missing time, sometimes just total, basically a blackout of the whole experience. You remember, your husband can't recall what went down. That must be kind of frustrating, I'd imagine.
Well, at first he he just didn't know what I was talking about. And then when I showed him, I go, Larry, look at your story. That's like a made-up story. You had a couple beers and went to bed. You know, Larry is the first one to say what he has for dinner and whatever I cooked for him. You know, he loves food. It's just the whole thing. The fact that he had a story. I had a couple beers. I watched TV. I went to bed. We sat outside the backyard and we watched the UFO come over. What happened?
Well, let me ask you, what military base was this next to again?
Camp Pendleton. Camp Pendleton's over there in Oceanside. We're in Escondido, but it was coming from, like, if you were to stand in Escondido and point at Camp Pendleton, it was point toward the direction that it is. It was coming from that direction, and it was massive.
So you think this massive craft actually originated from the base?
Yeah, I think so. So I asked, I go, Larry, what's that direction? When we point this way, he goes, well, that's Camp Pendleton. That's the base. It came from with that little fighter jet. But how could it not make noise? It should have been, like, huge as that thing is, you think that would have a lot of noise behind it. But,
also, could you describe the craft? Describe the craft. And it seemed like it was being escorted by some military helicopter. What did the craft look like?
Like a plane, like a fighter jet or something.
A fighter jet. Sorry about that. Go ahead.
Well, that's my husband. Before he didn't remember, that's what he called it. And he retired military, so, you know, he would have, he's more likely to know the name of it than I am. So it was black, and it was like about as big as my house. Like I said, my house is 51 square foot, so it was about as big as my house. And it was saucer shaped. It wasn't like solid or anything. There was like some places went up, some places went in. You know, like you can tell it was. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't just like a solid surface underneath it. It looked as though it had how do you say? Ups and downs. Like maybe there's a square here and that kind of went in. There's a square over here and this one kind of went down. You know, it wasn't just a level surface. I really didn't see any lights or anything, but then it was daytime. And gosh, I wish I would have got my camera. I don't know what I was thinking. I was thinking I was shocked. That's what I was thinking. My husband, we were just shocked. Yeah, I went to the friends. Not even no neighbors. Nobody's outside. Nobody was around. That's Sunday. Nobody's ever around on Sunday. You know, in the afternoon, people are gone. So, I don't know. I've looked on YouTube to see if anybody posted anything of seeing the UFO in Escondido, and I've seen posts, but nothing like that. Nothing like what I saw. Because somebody else should have seen that.
Tell you what, people, we will be opening up the lines again this Friday, taking calls from around the world, and we will be opening up every once in a while, doing this impromptu radio show, because you never know what kind of stories are coming in from around the world. We got some good information coming in of what looks to be an escorted, massive, what would you call, an extraterrestrial starcraft, or reverse engineered tech, what was captured near the Air Force Base. We got to thank that caller in for incredible insight. Everybody, keep your eyes on the skies. We're not alone. We'll see you again next time.
Third